Nowadays, it's pretty common to see people criticize Marvel Studios and their projects. The MCU versus art house debate began years ago, but still seems to become the talk of the internet every time a new film or show comes out. Despite this, big names such as Ethan Hawke, Christian Bale, and Angelina Jolie ended up signing on to projects in recent years. However, part of the reason Ethan joined is that his daughter Maya convinced him. First, we have Maya's convincing as a reason for Ethan joining Moon Knight. The Disney Plus series Moon Knight proved to be one of the most watched television shows this year. Why so many people tuned into the 6-episode show was because it had two stellar leads, Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke. Both have starred in critically acclaimed films in previous years, and viewers certainly didn't expect to see them in an MCU project. Recently, in an interview with IndieWire, Ethan revealed that his daughter Maya Hawke played an important part in convincing him to join the show. The 24-year-old actress, whose breakthrough role was Robin in season 3 of Netflix's Stranger Things, is known for being very close to her dad, so it comes as no surprise that she encouraged him to be part of this project. Mohamed Diab, the director of the series, said Ethan had always been his top pick for the role of the villain, Arthur Harrow, but he was reluctant to take on the role and didn't volunteer himself initially. This could have been due to the fact that Marvel sometimes puts restrictions on its actors in their approach to portraying a character. We've seen numerous examples of this in previous years, so perhaps that's why he wasn't very enthusiastic about joining it at first. He said that Maya intervened and advised him that he should try to experiment with the project. This gave him some ideas about how he could bring his unique fashion into the MCU. It's also why the show as a whole seemed quite different from other projects. Audiences have been repeatedly saying this. Ethan and Oscar's addition definitely proved to be successful, considering how many people watched the show just for them. Second, Ethan bringing Oscar into his daughter's advice. As Ethan was eventually convinced by his daughter to join the show, he started following up with his co-star regarding this. Oscar was also a new addition to the MCU, so he could use some advice as well. As Maya had suggested, he encouraged Oscar to join him in the process of assuming unique perspectives for the characters they were about to portray. As per her advice, they went about their task believing that their job was to participate with the audience. Instead of trying to become more prominent television stars, they focused on doing something new so that people would notice the change. He revealed in the interview that he told Oscar they weren't going to change Marvel's usual techniques. Instead, they had to show audiences what they were capable of doing after having received this opportunity. He highlighted his daughter's words by saying that they played in Marvel's sandbox and just tried to do what they thought would be most suitable. Ethan went on to join Moon Knight without a script and worked with director Mohamed Diab to develop his character gradually throughout the filming process. Both he and Oscar had several rehearsals to shape their respective roles. As it turns out, this hard work proved to be beneficial for everyone in the long run. Moon Knight became one of Marvel's most critically acclaimed and viewed shows to date, and Ethan received unanimous praise for his performance as Arthur Harrow. Next, is the MCU really successful by having big-time talents? Whether one chooses to believe it or not, Marvel Studios played a big part in reviving the theatrical experience ever since it went down in 2020, during COVID-19. Most of the movies that were successful at the box office following this crisis were from the MCU. For example, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was extremely successful and led to films finally being released in cinemas without further delays. Then, another major success came in the form of Spider-Man: No Way Home. This film had a Christmas release in December 2021 and became the third highest grossing film in the MCU. This proved how the industry wasn't dying just yet, and Marvel's films, despite their criticism, were immensely popular among audiences. And even more recently, Top Gun: Maverick showed how projects outside of the superhero genre can also be victorious. So even though it's easy for people to badmouth Marvel projects, there's no denying the fact that they're incredibly successful. Plus, the advice that Maya gave her father provides a good frame of reference for the idea that these projects can be unique too. The audience for this type of genre is known for hyping the projects, and that helps the industry to thrive to a large extent. This means that the MCU is indeed successful by having big-time talents on board, and the involvement of actors such as Ethan and Oscar can convince other famous people to join the studio as well. After all, Moon Knight proved its worth, so what's the harm in it? Now, in other related news. Also, Ethan and Maya attend a special screening of his HBO Max documentary in NYC. Fans may know that Ethan also directed a documentary film this year which premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival in March. It's called The Last Movie Stars and follows the lives of Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. HBO Max is set to distribute the film as it hits the streaming platform on the 21st of July. A few days prior to this, the director and his daughter were seen attending an exclusive screening of the film in New York City. This took place at Film Forum, a nonprofit cinema in Greenwich Village's downtown neighborhood. Ethan looked very happy as he arrived at the venue with Maya. He was seen wearing a gray suit and white shirt, which was unbuttoned from the top and tie-less. Along with this, a pair of black sneakers completed his handsome appearance. Maya looked equally proud to be coming to her father's show as she was dressed smartly. Along with some dark blue denim capri-style jeans, she was seen wearing a matching denim jacket and a red and white patterned v-neck sweater. The overall look was completed by a pair of black leather boots. Her blonde hair looked gorgeous and she was carrying a small backpack over her left shoulder. In short, the father-daughter duo seemed happy to be attending the screening in public, and other attendees were also pleased to see them there. Next, first look images from Maya Hawke's upcoming Netflix film revealed. Maya Hawke seems to be having a busy year with Netflix. Following season 4 of Stranger Things, which ended up becoming the most viewed English-language TV season of all time, she'll now be starring in a film that's out soon. Recently, the streaming platform revealed first look images and a release date for Jennifer Caton Robinson's second feature film, Do Revenge. She previously directed Someone Great, starring Gina Rodriguez, which was also distributed by Netflix. Do Revenge stars Maya Hawke and Camila Mendez, who fans may know as Veronica Lodge from Riverdale. It's described as a dark comedy set in high school, with the two actresses playing students in their senior year. As polar opposites of each other, the girls find themselves being ridiculed by their respective friends at the same time. They team up together to go after each other's bullies. One of the photos released by Netflix shows the two leads in sparkly outfits at what seems to be a party. We don't know what to make of this scene right now, but we'll find out eventually. Two additional images show them together, and from the looks of it, these two will share a close bond in the film. The film is set to release on the 16th of September, so fans of Maya have an exciting project to look forward to. Lastly, Ethan Hawke hints at a possible retirement from his acting career. During the interview where Ethan mentioned his daughter convincing him to take on the role in Moon Knight, he also hinted at a possibility regarding his acting career. He said he'd been planning to step down from it. This alludes to the idea that his journey with performing may be coming to an end. He said that instead of a young old person, he now considers himself an old young person. Playing John Brown in the 2020 show The Good Lord Bird had been the start of his last act. This year, he starred in Moon Knight and The Black Phone, and in both he played the villain. So it's been an interesting experience for him to experiment with these new types of roles, but maybe he's finally done. It's also worth noting that he directed the documentary The Last Movie Stars this year, which could possibly mean he's leaning towards filmmaking now. The only upcoming film we know he's starring in is the Knives Out sequel, which will be released on Netflix later this year. However, all of this was just briefly hinted at by him, so there wasn't any explicit mention of him quitting acting. Let's see what he does next. And that's a wrap for this video. What did you think of Maya Hawke convincing her dad to join Moon Knight? Let us know in the comments below. Do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification for similar videos. See you in the next one.